Welcome to my channel, SteveO the Window Cleaner. Today we have Jordy the Window Cleanse here today, and we are going to talk about how Jordy started his window cleaning business, pressure washing business. And as you guys know, the last video, I talked a lot about how I started my new window cleaning business, but I really want to get feedback from others during this series on what they've done during these different processes of their business. So today we're going to, just like Jordy, kind of talk about it, ask some questions, and kind of dive deep into how he started his window cleaning business. So, Jordy.
What's up?
What's up? So when did you start window cleaning?
I started in August of 2006. And I'll just give you a little story, a little back history. I was out of work for basically all of 2005. No, I'm sorry. Like from the summer of 2005 to the summer of 2006.
Okay.
And I really was searching for a job through the typical means, but I was also like I would just go wandering through stores trying to get some sort of inspiration. And then one night, one of my friends, he said, yeah, my brother went down to the salon downstairs, and he cleaned her windows for like $20. And like the light bulb went off. And so I got some of the basic tools, got some business cards, and just started canvassing storefronts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't exactly the way I thought it was going to go, because I thought I would get like Pizza Huts, Papa Gino's, McDonald's, Burger King's. Like I thought I was just going to, and it wasn't like that at all,
Right.
as you know.
Yeah.
But that's how I started the window cleaning. And so the route would grow. The route grew as I would continue to canvas in person. And then from that, you get your residential jobs. And so little by little, that grew. So that's generally how it was. I was involved in a ministry 4 days a week. So I really didn't have a whole lot of time to devote to the business.
Okay.
So I was doing that 4 days a week. And then like Thursdays, here's the interesting. So I think I was only working Thursdays.
Oh, wow.
And maybe some Saturdays.
Yeah.
And at the very, very beginning, SteveO, I was also doing some painting and sheetrocking too. So I did have that.
Right.
Supplementing it. And then after about a year, that all went away. But that's basically how I started.
Now, when you started, like I talked a little bit about how much I invested, and I kind of invested a lot from the beginning, but you talked to many people as far as like, Chris talks about how he started with very limited tools, and like a couple squeegees and a pole, a washer sleeve, whatever. But when you started, how much do you think that you had to invest in those starting tools to start doing those storefronts?
All right. Well, I'll tell you this right off the bat. We borrowed $700 from a friend and paid him $100 back for the insurance.
Oh, nice.
So we were insured from the very start.
Okay? Very important.
So there's $700 right there. I had a 12-inch brass squeegee. I think I had a 12-inch scrubber. I had an old extension pole that had paint all over it, bucket. So yeah, I probably spent towels, probably $150 on the tools.
Yeah. Then at the time, what vehicle were you using just to get around?
I was using, I wish I had a picture of it. Oh man. I had a 1994 red Toyota Camry. The clear coat was peeling off of it on one side.
Oh man.
I had a 22, I finally bought a 20, so the 22-inch Gorilla Ladder, little giant, that would fold up and I could slide it, put my seats down and slide it into my trunk. And so I would use that. That was my one ladder on residential jobs, was my 22-foot Gorilla Ladder.
That's funny because when I first started cleaning windows too for these college guys, that's all we used was about 22 foot, or I think we had literally like a 24 foot or something. I mean, that's all we used. And every single time at a home, to get the placement. It was just like shuffling rocks, getting some plywood over here. And now I think of like leg levelers and I'm like, they're so simple. Like, why did I go through all that pain for so long?
And the other thing is, I mean, if I had the mindset now that, if I had the mindset then that I have now, I would have just got a DI system and put it on a credit card and got like a 30-foot pole.
Right. But it's funny because it's like, you know, I think when we started, at the times that we started, there wasn't all this content. I was talking to Mike Nichols about this the other day.
No.
It's like all these new guys have so much content and so much of a quick learning curve where even when I started, there was nothing out there that I could find of really anything other than talking to veterans and finding out what they liked in tools. And then I would go online and try to find them. But you think of like just the amount of stuff now that we know and how easily it's presented, where at the beginning it was like, it was just what we could find to basically start getting going. But it's nice to hear that, you know, like a lot of people start this way. You know, a lot of people start with minimal tools, you know, not really knowing what they'll do. And then you just kind of work up and learn.
Because when did you start your channel?
My channel started in, I want to say 2012 or 2013, but I did not seriously start uploading really until I want to say 2014 or 2015, something around there. Yeah.
You had, back then you had WCR, you had Mark Strange as Tool Time with Mark. I remember those videos. I know people remember Jersey and Mole. They remember Mr. Sanchez. Yeah. But you didn't have Calfus. You didn't have Luke. You didn't have you. You didn't have anybody.
No. First guy I ever found was Poles and Blades. That's the first guy I found that was putting videos out at the time. And, you know, and at the beginning did learn a lot from him. And then I remember finding Sorbo's videos of just him with different techniques. And I would get a lot from that. That was extremely helpful. But yeah, I mean, there just wasn't the content. So how, when you learn the techniques of window cleaning in the business, I know we don't want to go too much on that because we're talking about the business part, but did you just start with straight pulls and just slowly learn how to fan and just kind of work that out as you went?
Yeah. So one of my first jobs was a Vitamin World at the Rentham outlets. And I quickly learned that a 12-inch squeegee, I was doing straight pulls with a pole, and I would go sometimes I'd go all the way down to the ledge.
Yeah.
But then I did watch one video where they said you can, you know, pull down, if this is the ledge, pull down to here, and then do your final pass this way. So I was kind of doing it that way. Of course, the leading edge, I had the wrong way. So I was leaving a line down every, you know, pull. For probably like 2-3 years, I was doing it that way until because see, the thing with me, SteveO, is I wasn't going to sit there and consume information. Like, I kind of flew by the seat of my pants and just was like, you know what, I'm going to just learn as I go. And then when I needed a little something to fill in the gap, I would go online, I'd go on the forum, or I'd go on YouTube and learn a little bit. And then I go back out in the field and keep working. But so I was doing straight pulls first, probably for the first 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in 2013, I got my first wagtail. And once I started learning how to use that, I was like, oh, okay.
That's really funny you say 2013, because 2013, I bought a wagtail, and that's when I learned how to fan really well. And I told my manager at Fish, I said, you should buy everybody one wagtail, because that teaches you the really good way of where the channel should be pointing and how it just flows. I remember doing it I had a studio, I had a patio doors. That's it. That was my only windows. And I remember just sitting in there and training with it every day. And I was like, this is amazing. I just loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you probably noticed that once you got the hang of it, it was cutting your time down considerably on jobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and then I was working at a volunteer project, and I was watching somebody clean windows, And he would start with the squeegee upside down on one corner. And he was going up like this, across, down like this. And then he was doing like this little thing like this. And I was just sitting there watching him. And I was like, so I went back into the field and I started doing that. And I would start at different points. I'd start over here. I'd start over here. Everyone starts on their backhand, but I would start over here. And I would just try to figure out, okay, like what was he doing? And where does he go from here? And
right.
Eventually I got that down. And then I was like, you know what? I saw some guy, I think I typed in like cool window cleaning one time on YouTube. And there was this guy doing like this.
At the airport?
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Is that the guy at the airport? Is that like...
It was a guy at the airport, and there's one video to a Weezer song, the Hip Hip song.
I think
and the guy had like his pants were pulled down, you could see his butt. And but he was doing this thing, and then all of a sudden he do the swirl thing, and I kept rewinding, and I'm like, what is he doing?
Showing off.
Exactly. So of course, but I wanted to do it. So I started practicing like this, just trying to like get the hang of this.
Yeah. But you know what, though? It does bring up an important subject in that I think that, as weird as it sounds for your business, fanning does amaze customers, and it will get you other customers because they say, wow, look at you. You're such an artist. I can never do that. You make it look so easy. And seriously, that's why you could do straight pulls. You really could. You could build a business on it. I've seen it done. Yeah. I've seen Jim and Alfredo, they're mostly straight pulls, but they do great at it. And they have their own ways. I don't even know how Alfredo does so well with it, but he really, really does. But I have found that fanning in storefronts and showing that technique, that's something that usually people look at and they say, I don't think I could do that. And that's why I'm hiring. And it does help grow the business.
Without a doubt. I agree 100%. I've had people in traffic yell out the window at me.
Yeah.
Holy beep! I've never seen anyone clean like that. And of course, like it feeds your ego and you are showing off, but you're also generating. I've also had people tell me at that same restaurant, it's like a group of 4 adults, and they said we were looking for a place. We didn't know any places around here, and we were looking for a place to eat, and we're going to tell the owner that we chose this place because of the way you were cleaning the windows.
Oh wow! Yeah. See?
And that's really happened. And so this started to get faster, and then my hands just naturally separated, and then it just became this. And
that's kind of your style too. Like you definitely have a unique style of cleaning windows that's pretty sweet.
And looking back on my channel, like to actually get YouTube views, I probably should have shown that a little bit more. From the start, but I just felt like there was no practical value in showing that, and the channel was more about helping people with their business. So but you're right about that. It definitely attracts the right type of attention.
Now, when you were deciding on your overall services, I know you got into pressure washing. When did you decide that at the beginning? Because when people decide to start a business, they usually say, okay, I'm going to do this service and this service, but some services come in after maybe some years. When did you decide to implement pressure washing?
2016. So wow. Here's how the window cleaning progressed. I was doing a lot of mom and pops around my house, my general area. I was getting some residential, but when I got the Wendy's and the Papagenos, that's when my income levels really shot up, and my schedule filled out. And it was the Wendy's that led to the pressure washing. I mean, that was not even on my radar.
Okay.
To do that.
Was it something where they said, hey, we would really love it if it could be a service all in one? Because I had that happen where we lost a whole chain of Mad Greens, which is like a salad place, because they literally said, we want a company that just does both. And we said, well, we're not going to do it. And they cut us out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What were they looking for?
They wanted a company. They wanted one invoice for the pressure washing and the window cleaning. And they were just, and I totally understood kind of what the lady was trying to do. They said, we're just trying to eliminate as many extra bills coming from different places. So, and they had found a service that would do it. And the window cleaning price that they had was half of our price. But I figured what they were doing was just implementing that price into pressure washing. I totally that. It really didn't matter. But yeah, they just simply wanted somebody who would do both. And we just, at that point, and we always were just window cleaning. You know, we just stick to window cleaning. It just worked out. But yeah, they fired us because of it.
I thought that it wasn't, it was more like the district manager, she asked me, do you know anyone that does pressure washing? I was just chit-chatting with her one day. I said, well, I could do it. She's like, okay, this is what we're looking for. So I immediately went home, started doing some reading about it, figured out what I would need, figured out how much it would cost, got in touch with a vendor, figured out how much it was going to cost, and then I was able to formulate from that a quote, a bid, and when she accepted the bid, I put the order in for the equipment, and that was a winter project. So she asked me in September of 2016. I started in May of 2017, but that whole time I was working with the vendor, trying to multiple communications, and that's how that started.
Now, when you did that, as far as like going back to a little bit about, you know, setting up your business and the insurance, did you have to, you know, up your insurance because now you'd added pressure washing, or how did that work out?
Yeah. So insurance companies have codes for all the different industries. There is no common code for pressure washing.
Okay.
So it was really hard to find someone that would insure us. Because most of them would put you under like landscaping or carpet cleaning, kind of. But so Joseph Walters was who we went with. They were really good. I know people have mixed reviews about them. They've been awesome to work with. They actually have a code for pressure washing. And I don't know if they created it or what, but
right. Did you find that, you know, I know insurance is varying. You don't have to tell us exactly what you paid, but like from what you got quoted for your window cleaning, was the quote for the pressure washing monthly, was that larger than what window cleaning would be for people who are thinking of it?
I think it was around $2,000. I could be wrong about that.
And that's for a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason, so we financed the equipment. So the bank that lent us the money was requiring the highest level of insurance.
Right. Kind of like leasing a car almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we just paid off the lease last month, and we were able to drop our insurance coverage.
Nice.
Because the bank's not involved anymore.
Right.
But I was also applying the water to the ground, and so that created another level of liability.
Yeah.
Because people were going to be walking as opposed to just cleaning the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we, even at 2020, when I was working there, we would tell our new employees, do not dump your bucket out in a parking lot when we're done with our day. Just don't do it. Summer, doesn't matter. Like summer, I know it's going to dry, especially winter. Just don't get in the habit of doing it. You just don't know. Or entryways when you're there in the winter or any time of year, clean up your mess, because if someone slips on your mess, we're liable. We're fully liable for it. So it's a good lesson to learn.
So the liability, and also Colorado is pretty strict about their environmental laws.
Yeah.
So, you know, if someone sees you dumping something down the storm drain in your state, they're probably you have a higher risk of getting in trouble than I do in Massachusetts.
Oh yeah. That's, you know, a lot of people always ask me, why aren't you doing pressure washing? Why aren't you? And when I talk to a lot of guys in the South, you know, it's like, why aren't you adding that? There's so much money into it. And it's like, there's a huge company here. I've showed you that company before called Top Gun. I mean, they've got semis that are pressure washing. It's just like, I would never even mess with them, but they go into Boulder County, which where I work mostly. And you cannot have any water go in the storm drain, not any bit of water. You have to reclaim it. And I don't know the first thing about reclaiming.
No.
I don't want to get into it. I just don't.
No. It's taking on the pressure washing was so stressful. However, it did pay us back.
Yeah.
It did. It was a risk, but the return outweighed the risk in the long run.
Right. Now, to touch on one other thing, you know, something that stresses people out at the beginning is, what should I name my business? And so you decided on the bubble guy. What brought that about?
Okay, I got to tell you a secret. I've never revealed this. All right.
Okay.
My original name, which I had this name for at least 4 years. The original name of my company was Sud Studs.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
And customers loved it. But when I was thinking of the word stud, I was thinking of, like, I play a lot of fantasy football. So, you know, they'll refer to someone who gives you a lot of points as a stud. He's an absolute stud.
Right.
So I was thinking of it in that way. I didn't really think about I was a little naive. I didn't realize there was like a double entendre about that word.
Uh-huh. Right.
And so it kind of was like a little questionable. So
you changed it after 4 years?
I did. And you know, the other thing too, because I was doing the sheetrocking and the window cleaning at the same time. Okay, now you're refreshing my memory now. It actually was Suds and Studs. Suds and Studs.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, yeah. That's what it was. And then I that's what I was going to name it. And I said, you know, it's too much of a mouthful. I'm just going to name it Sud Studs and just focus on the window cleaning. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, you know what, I'm going to rebrand. And the whole concept was like, I wanted like a cartoon mascot of like, kind of like a bubble guy superhero.
Right.
With instead of, and he'd have the scrubber and the squeegee, and that whole concept never really came to fruition. So, but the name stuck, Bubble Guy.
Yeah. Now, like, the logo for you, you know, many people want to ask, you know, how'd you get your logo? Where'd you make your logo? Did you just make your own logo? Did you have someone make it?
Fiverr.
And this was back when you got that Bubble Guy one made. How long ago was that?
Yeah, that was 2012.
Wow.
So I had the other name for 6 years. Yeah. So 2012, I think I didn't do the $5. I think I paid either 35 or 65 so that I could get multiple revisions.
Right.
And the guy was really good to work with. I think he was from Taiwan or Thailand, and gave me all the files, and he did a great job.
Yeah. I used Thumbtack, and I was happy. I wasn't ecstatic, I'll be quite honest, but it was what I wanted. You know, I didn't want to go too overboard, but like, I feel like a fool because I didn't know about Fiverr really until this year, like 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I never knew that it was around. I just was like, kind of naive to it.
It's weird because you're like, is this thing trustworthy? Like, am I actually going to...
Especially like the other day, I just had like this funny logo made of my SteveO the window cleaner thing, and it was $23, and I was like, I'm not expecting anything. Like, I expect this to come back and it's just going to look like poo. And then it came back, and I was like, for $23, I'd buy it again.
Yeah.
Why not? That's a lot. Might be a better quality than my actual logo that I paid like $250 for off Thumbtack, you know? So yeah, so I'd say that, you know, after going through Thumbtack and talking to a lot of different people, that Fiverr is definitely the way to go for like logos or like short little clips. So I think you can find people to do like short little introduction clips if you want to do that before showing like a technique that your business does or something like that.
Even for YouTube, if you wanted to do like a really professional sounding video for your business, they have people that do voiceovers.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you can sample their voices. I spent like an hour on that one day, and just going through the men and women,
Wow.
all their voices. Some of them were really good,
Yeah.
and I'd pay $100, $65 to get a guy to just read the script for me.
Right. Yeah. No. So let's see. What else here? When how did you do marketing? Like I know you do, I know, business cards, going to stores and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
other than when did you integrate your website?
Website was 2017. I paid 2 grand for my website.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I get leads from it. I paid for the SEO for like 6 months, and then the company got transferred, got sold. And at that point, I said, "Can you just cancel the SEO? I don't need the SEO." And I was paying like 500 a month for the SEO.
Oh wow. And
That was it. That was a dream.
did you notice much from it? When I talk to a lot of people about SEO, it's like it's definitely it's not a like you do it and boom, you see it. It's a
No,
year to a year and a half before you really start seeing
exactly,
stuff.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. My business was already pretty good, pretty well established by that point, so I was getting a lot of word of mouth anyway. Uh, I would say that a Google listing, a free Google business listing with 5-star reviews, is the way to start.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do a website, just you don't have to pay 2 grand for it. You really don't have to pay that much for a simple website because
Yeah.
really people just,
It's hard now though, because I mean, when I was searching for websites, I mean, 2 grand was like the minimum. I
oh
mean,
really?
some quotes that I got were 3,300. Um, with Nice Job, you are looking at basically paying pretty much at least $100 a month for about 36 months before you owned the website. But at the same time, you're having somebody there that you can always go to, a service you can go to update anything, change things, quickly, like very, very quick. They have enough people working that everything happens very quick, but it's definitely expensive. And I feel bad sometimes when new people ask, what should I do for my business? And I always try to say, it's really good to get a website just to have that going, get your
Sure.
Google My Business going, get your website going, get on Yelp, get on Facebook Business, just try to get your name out there as much as possible. Because anymore, I do feel like that the online presence is important when building a new business. You talk to, veterans like yourself or people that have been in the industry for 30 years, and they got a referral list that just comes in, and that was the thing with 2020. And people would always ask, why aren't you guys doing the marketing? Jim had such a customer list from when he started the business in 99. He didn't need it. He just never needed to pay for it.
No, because
It just wasn't needed.
now here's something that I would recommend now. Use your smartphone, take some footage, have someone take some footage of you actually in the field, create a YouTube channel that's the name of your business.
Yeah.
Do 1 minute videos, 2 minute videos with maybe a little voiceover, a little music with you in the video, your contact info. In your description, fill it with window cleaning terms and towns in your area that you want to service. Do the same thing in the tags. And that's a great way to advertise, because when people search for window cleaning, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
Such a
So
good tip. It really
and
is.
that wasn't really an option back in '06 that I knew about.
Yeah.
We didn't even have phones that actually had cameras on them that could record good video.
Right.
Still using flip phones back then.
I have found that with Instagram, the videos do so much better than just a video of you squeegeeing off a window with the fanning technique. Those will get so much more likes than just a picture. But it's just people being able to see what you do. And even if it's you do one of those once a week and you take some pictures throughout the week and upload them on whatever, stuff. But I think that's a great, great tip that not a lot of people have really used. I think really Luke would be the first guy to really implement using his channel and then switching the company, rebranding to that, and having that really explode the business in a awesome way. He's
Absolutely.
really the founding person to really do that well. I know Keith Kalfas has touched on it in videos and stuff like that, but that's even something I plan on doing, not having my own, another YouTube channel for pure professional window cleaning, but I do plan on, you know, pure professional window cleaning, residential cleaning in Boulder, you know, and just putting that as the title. If it gets views, great. I did it for 2020 window cleaning too. I made like a small 1-minute commercial. I don't know if we got any leads through it, but it's just the extra of having it out there, you know, when people search that name or, you know, whatever. So,
Well, the thing is, if someone's on Google and they're typing in window cleaning near me, that video, the sooner you make the video, the sooner the videos need time to rank. So it will start ranking in YouTube, but then it'll start ranking in Google. So when you type in window cleaning near me, you're going to get a list, but then you're also going to get maybe 3 videos that show up.
yeah.
And one of your videos could very well be on Google, showing up on page 1 from YouTube.
Right.
So, I mean, it's something that I've even wanted to implement even now. I mean, there's never too late to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, if you were to give, like, I don't know, I guess that was a very, very good tip, but we'll kind of end it with this. If you were to give a couple major tips that you've learned through your years of people starting a new window cleaning business and, you know, kind of trying to figure it out, what would be those couple tips? I know it's a broad question.
yeah, no. Your mind is your most powerful tool. So don't focus on the squeegees and the scrubbers and the pressure washer or whatever it is. Focus on your mind and how you're thinking about the business. Okay. Tap into people that think differently than you, who are people that can become mentors, who are showing you the results of their way of thinking, and just imitate what they do. So that's like number 1, is use your brain. Number 2 is it's a people business. It's not a glass cleaning business.
Oh man, so right.
So learn how to deal with people, learn how to communicate with people, learn what people want, and you're going to have no problems whatsoever. I can't think, I had maybe less than 5 customers in 14 years that were troublesome. I wouldn't even call them a nightmare. I've never had a nightmare customer because it's not about the glass. So I would say it's a people business. Get off the glass as mentally as quickly as possible. So I understand in year 1 and 2, you got to focus on the actual job. Get away from that. Get off of that mentally as soon as possible and start focusing on how to run the business.
Yeah.
Instead of how to do this little job.
Yep. That's so right on.
And the final thing, SteveO, would be don't be married to your business. If your business fails as a window cleaner, you can start a business doing anything else. You could start a dog walking business. You could start an interior decorating business. You could plan weddings. You could teach people how to drive. Realize that you're a business owner that has decided to run a window cleaning business. But once you've learned the principles, you can do anything.
Yeah.
So that should give you a certain sense of security and confidence in yourself that you could go start a restaurant. You could start a bagel shop. If you did it once, you can do it multiple times with different things. And I think I've demonstrated that in my channel because I started a pressure washing business. I started acting as a sales rep, which I don't view as a job. I view it as my own business, even though I'm working for another business.
Yep.
So those are some of the things that come to my mind.
Yeah, no, those are awesome tips, and it takes a long time to gain that knowledge and to be able to teach that knowledge to others. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps up the video today as far as kind of hearing about Jordy's story of how, his business started and all that. And would you like to do a little plug for yourself, Jordy, for sales?
Uh, so I realized recently that I'm not a sales rep.
Okay.
I am an investment advisor.
There you go. There you go. If you want some investment advising on your window cleaning business, feel free to reach out to Jordy and he can help you as well as I can. And well, thank you for watching. And I hope this helps. And comment below with any questions you have, and I'll answer those questions to the best of my abilities. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, SteveO.
All right. Bye-bye.